All right, we're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 with our world tour. Last time we were flying just to about here. Plana, Cays is, I think how you say it, but it's an island in the Caribbean. We're going to pretend we landed there, filled up with the gas somehow, and we're going to take off from there. We'll probably start in midair over the island. As I'm recording, it is Friday night, 7:39 p.m., January 9th. I'm really cool. This is what I do on Friday nights. The semifinals for the college football playoff are currently on. Of course, Miami defeated Ole Miss last night, and tonight Indiana is about to play Oregon. It's about to kick off here, so I'll probably throw in little updates on that as kind of a historical marker. If I ever go back and watch this, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that game. But while we're flying, we're going to be listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show, as we often do. Please subscribe to that podcast. It's amazing. We'll listen to, I think, the Monday, January 5th episode, the Wednesday, January 7th, and then the Friday, January 9th episodes in our 3 parts in this flight. Each one would be about an hour, but so that we can get to most of the podcast. That was easy for me to say. We're going to start right away. And here is the Monday, January, what was it again? 5th episode of the Tony Kornheiser Show.
Hey, it's Tony. On today's show, we will talk to Michael Wilbon about the end of the regular season in the NFL. We'll also talk to Chuck Culpepper about the college football playoffs. But first, let's do some commerce, boys and girls.
Why does every recipe I try need...
That's because you're not sure where to start. Thumbtack knows home.
Because, as Michael said, you're not a scone guy. No, I didn't like it. It was a big ball of dough. It had no taste. So I went around sort of like a mouse, eating just the raisins, opening it up, getting crumbs all over the place, putting the crumbs into the paper bag that I had, being very neat, very tidy, eating the raisins. About 8 raisins, $3.95. 8 raisins.
The Tony Kornheiser Show is on now.
First and last scone. That's it. No more scone.
No more.
Let me just say, before we start the show, to Dave Carey in Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, it's a lovely note. I feel all of it. It's very beautiful. And yes, dog owners are dog owners. Thank you for that note. The end of the red zone for the year. That's it. Red zone's over.
Yeah,
it's
the witching hour.
It's the greatest 18 weeks of all time. It's the greatest television show of all time.
So sad.
It's gone.
Yeah.
You know, now you have to watch the games, you have to watch the commercials, you have to watch the nonsense, and you realize how much better the red zone is than everything else.
It really is.
Yeah, and it's on the other side is I can stop paying for the red zone, and I can reduce my cable bill a little bit.
Do you ever go to the red zone and say, like, June? Just click on it just to hear the music that they have?
In June, they don't have the music, I don't think, do they?
No, they do.
In the music?
I think it's all year long.
So,
the worst is when you come downstairs after putting the kids to bed and you just see the light of the red zone on.
Just the red zone,
music.
Red zone is tremendous. Our great thanks to Matt Abbottball, who has a running shop in Evanston, Illinois.
Commonwealth Running Company.
Yeah, sent a big box of that.
Ooh.
And very, very nice. Deeply appreciative of that.
Very nice.
So, you know, I could bore you with all the golf I played in the last few days in the freezing cold, and literally in the freezing cold.
It was
literally
pretty cold.
In the freezing cold.
Yes.
But
and some wind, a little bit.
Okay,
I'm aware. I get the morning update from you. I get the course update from Columbia and your personal update.
But if it's not windy, you can dress and play.
Yeah.
You're not any good. I'm not a good player. It doesn't matter. I just like being outside doing this. You know,
It's a great way for you to collect your thoughts.
If I go by myself, I'm out there alone. I'm first out. There's nobody on the course but me. I can drop 3 or 4 balls from wherever I am.
What are your diary entries like right now?
They're just, you know, they specifically say I can't hit this shot. It's the second shot on 17. I cannot hit the shot. I never get the shot in the air. And my diary is filled with, I took 4 shots at it.
Gotta play up the left side of the fairway. Use the ramp.
I just couldn't. I'm no good. I don't get the shot in the air.
I actually read his diary the other day. Mike would be curious as to, you'll be interested to see this. So we beat on, boats against the current, board back ceaselessly into the past, and man, is it cold.
Watch the clock.
So let me talk. Michael is here. So Michael had not been here for a while.
I made record time on the drive back.
Shout out.
On
the holiday.
I-95, day after a holiday.
I thought it was day of.
Okay, well, day after the evening portion of the holiday.
Yes.
Right.
The trick was we stopped for gas early so we could load up on some soft pretzels from Wawa down in North Carolina. Waved to the Buc-ee's. I was tempted to stop, but
that's tough.
too many cars.
Yeah. So as a result of Michael coming home with Liz and with the boys, we went bowling. We went bowling the other day. We went bowling on Saturday.
Yes.
We went bowling. Columbia has 6 lanes.
6 lanes.
With these tiny ball. It's not a regular bowling ball.
The duck pin?
The duck pin ball
Yeah.
and the duck pin pins. And the duck pin pins...
I always called it a candlestick. Is that a different one? It feels like the Boston one, but...
I don't know. Maybe it's candle.
I think it's the same
pins?
thing.
Is it candle pins or candlestick?
Candlestick, I think.
Whatever. If you hit a bunch of bowling pins with a regular bowling ball, they scatter and they take other pins out, and you get more than a 4. You get a 7 or an 8. When you throw the small ball and it hits the pins, a lot of times you just get those pins. It goes, right, Michael, straight back. You just get those pins. I can't tell you how frustrating it is for me to bowl. I enjoy it. I would do it every day if I had the opportunity. But I should be able, so I do this with a regular bowling ball, I should be able to bowl the ball straight. I don't hook it or anything like that. I should be able to bowl it straight and get it to go where I've aimed it. And I can't do it with the small ball. The small ball, it just moves in my hand. I curve it. I'm not trying, and there are so many frames where I get nothing. I just go right in the gutter. The boys don't go in the gutter because the boys get the bumpers on the side. And so it becomes skee ball for the boys.
Oh, they're playing angles.
So that's, and they did
The
very
captain
well.
looks like he's throwing a shot put.
Oh yeah, he just flings it.
He's like
one
Raleigh.
time it went over into the next lane. We looked and went over.
So I think this is candlepin, and the tough thing for you is that the
Candlepin.
ball is small enough and light enough that it doesn't have a consistent release point.
Right.
And to see the frustration on your face when you're not used to it, it's not picking up the first ball's not picking up the number of pins that you'd like, and it's the second one is you're just not getting the consistency of the wraparound of the deflection.
I never. My high score was like 80.
Oof.
And in regular bowling, I'm not any good. I'm not
But
like real bomb.
you have like a nice 3-step approach, right?
My regular bowling,
200.
I have had a 200 in my life.
The dude abides.
Once, but but 120 to 140. And this thing, it's like
You can consistently get 120 to 140 in real bowl.
if I practiced, even now, at my age now, and my ineptitude and dodderingness, I could get 120 on a regular basis. Yeah,
Okay.
I believe that. Are you challenging
No,
me?
I'm not.
Because I think I could
It's
120.
gonna be the Swiss cheese challenge.
I think I could because I think I would get 3 or 4 spears. I do. I think I get 3 or 4 because of the ball is. Now I don't release. Tony Reale throws it as hard as he can down the alley, like 900 miles an hour. I don't understand that.
Always great watching him do that.
Just as hard as he can throw it with 2 hands. With 2 hands. I don't understand that at all. But I enjoyed the bowling. You enjoyed the bowling.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was
It's always
really nice.
fun.
It was
It's
really
always
nice.
fun.
Yeah, it's something you don't expect to be good, and it's always.
Now, it's at Columbia. Did you get the bowling alley fries? Because I know there's a...
We did get bowling alley fries.
Oh no! You know what? With kids under 12, it's all about the food.
Yeah,
all about the
everywhere they go.
Of
It's all
course.
about the food.
Yeah.
Like wherever you plan to take them to, you have to plan on another $1 million in food.
So again, this happened over the time of what is often called lunch. So
Right.
yes,
Right, and that was fair.
Yes.
That was
they
fair.
changed their fries, by the way.
The fries were good.
Yeah, the last year they've been very good.
The fries were very good.
Outstanding.
So, should I do anything else here at the beginning of the show? I'm going to tease something. I'm not going to do the football because Will Bond will do
Will
the
Bond.
football.
May I just share one thing? So last
Sure.
night, the boys are back in school today,
Yeah.
coming off holiday hours. Bootsy likes to feel like he gets some independence from his younger brother, so we say, okay, 8:20, the little guys are reading, going to bed. Go downstairs, watch the first quarter with Dad.
Oh, and he loves Baltimore.
He's a Ravens fan. His face is lighting up as he sees them go down the field.
Oh, no.
He goes up with the lead. I say, I think you got this.
Got the lead.
See
Got
the
the
4th
lead.
down stop? No.
No, it's too bad.
That
he
is
likes
tough.
the Ravens.
Wide right.
So Chuck Todd got crushed.
We did.
2-5, and he was 1-3 in the college. And I should have said to him, "Don't pick the college."
We got Miami right, didn't
Got
we?
Pick 6 to start the game. Indiana up 6-0 already.
If I practiced, even now, at my age now, and my ineptitude and dodderingness, I could get 120 on a regular basis. Yeah,
okay.
I believe that. Are you challenging
No,
me?
I'm not.
Because I think I could 120.
To be the Swiss cheese challenge?
I think I could because, I think I would get 3 or 4 spears.
Yeah.
You know, I do. I think I get 3 or 4 because of the ball is. Now I don't release. Tony Reale throws it as hard as he can down the alley, like 900 miles an hour. I don't understand.
Always great watching him do that.
You know, just as hard as he $1 million in food.
So again, this happened over. He likes to feel like he gets some independence from his younger brother. So we say, okay, 8:20, little guys are reading, going to bed. Go downstairs, watch the first quarter with Dad.
Oh, and he loves Baltimore.
He's a Ravens fan. His face is lighting up as he sees them go down the field.
Oh no.
He goes up with the lead. I say, I think you got this.
Got the lead.
You see the 4th down stop? No.
It's too bad.
That is
he likes
tough.
the Ravens.
Wide right.
So Chuck Todd got crushed.
We did.
2-5, and he was 1-3 in the college. And I should have said to him, don't pick the college.
We got Miami right, didn't
He got Miami right, but he didn't get anything else right. The only other game he got right was Carolina plus 2.5 against Tampa Bay.
Okay.
You know, and Tampa Bay won by 2, so he won by half.
Does that send him back below Mount 500?
65 and 65. But
Okay.
Carville.
Oh, yes.
Carville went 6-0.
Yeah.
Including that crazy bet of Patriots minus 6.5, first half only against Miami, where it was 7.
Did you see how that played out?
It was 17-10 at the first half.
Well, the Patriots looked like they were going to score, at least get a field goal to put them up by 10. So, okay, he's got this easy.
No.
Throws a pick. Then they go down and they score, and the Patriots have to kick a very long field goal as time expires at the half to give them to cover.
But 6-0, he's now 51, 47, and 2. He's plus 4. Like he had the big action game.
Yeah.
Jeff Mott didn't do well. He lost. The Monkey did well. The Monkey was over 500. The Monkey was 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah. So I'm just going to tease this one thing. I'm going to get out of here on this, but I will tease this because I'll do this later in the week. I have a postscript on Sherman Oil. I have a whole thing on Sherman Oil. And so you'll want to listen to that. Because, as you know, I called up and I said, I'd like to speak to the owner. And I was told, what are you talking about? Speak to the owner. I said, who is the owner? And I was told, Mr. Sherman. I said, would you tell Mr. Sherman I'd like to talk with him? So I'll just tease it by saying that. And I'll get out of here and I'll say that Michael Wilbon will join us when we return. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
Every Friday from 6 to 7:30, it's NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel, your pregame for the weekend. We're talking limited time specials you won't want to miss. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all dropping in the app during Happy Hour. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see the week's specials. Then make your move before the shot clock expires at 7:30 Eastern. It's a perfect way to start your weekend. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
Must be 21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Call 800-327-5050.
Bible Spotify.
It's the Tony Kornheiser Show.
This is Rock Creek Revival. And yeah, they're named after Rock Creek. They're local. This is called Winchester. Daniel Janicek writes, attaches a link to Rock Creek Revival Spotify page, although I know you don't know how to use Spotify. I know Michael does. My brother Andrew Janicek, or Janosek, I don't know how it's pronounced, a banjo player of said band. They play all over the DMV area. I figured you might also like the name. Sure, because I played Rock Creek a number of times. I grew up listening to ESPN 980 when I worked for an irrigation company out of Crofton, Maryland. I listened to your show religiously every day as I battled traffic around the Beltway and made my way to the Eastern Shore. I've continued listening for the last 15 years. I'm a devout little. I was also hoping to be your official irrigation correspondent. Sure. My business is called Emerald Waterworks. I'm now based out of Denver. That's a long way out. Wow. I'm waiting on a response from my brother as to how many outlets he has in his kitchen. Ask Wilbon how many he has. Again, this is Rock Creek Revival. This is called Winchester. Plays in Mike Wilbon. It's just hard to know where to begin. It's hard to know. A lot of things happen. A lot of teams won. A lot of teams lost, and people are getting fired. I think I'm absolutely in agreement. I said this last week that the general manager at Atlanta should be fired the way he screwed up the quarterback situation. I would not have fired the coach. I just saw Schefter on TV. He says he thinks that Pete Carroll's going to get fired. Says he thinks McDaniel and Stefanski will keep their jobs. Stefanski finished well. McDaniel did not. Do you have any thoughts on this, like on firing, as to, John Harbaugh, for all I know, is going to leave? What do you think?
It's a normal cycle at the end of the season. The normal cycle. Yeah. 4 or 5 guys are going to be fired. Heavier years, it's 5, 6. Yeah. Lighter years, it's 3, 4. It's expected. I don't raise an eyebrow at this. Of interest to me is what would become. They're not going to be just unceremoniously dumped. Would be Harbaugh, or if the result of that game had changed last night,
Tomlin.
flipped. Mike Tomlin, right? Yeah. What do they? After 18 and 19 years, do they want to do this? They want to do something else. I personally think that Mike Tomlin, if you wanted to go to television, could reset television in terms of coaches in the booth or in the studio in the way, if not in the way John Madden did, certainly in a dramatic style like that. If Tomlin wanted to do that, I don't know Tomlin. I don't know him that well. I know there are people in the agent business who think that Tomlin would be great at that. And who knows, maybe you get tired of doing something for nearly 20 years. Something of that profile and that stress. And it's so dramatic now that we used to go crazy when Joe Gibbs said he would sleep in the office like 2 or 3 nights a week. Now that's the job for everybody every night. And so there's some people who say, no, I'm going to do this for X amount of years. I've done it for this long amount. And I don't know if Tomlin and Harbaugh are cut from that. They can make $20 million or more in television a year. So there's so much that's out there for these guys. The industry is now what would support them, not just head coaching.
Yeah, they've been there a long time. Pete Carroll, not a long time in Vegas. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I mean, I'm convinced that firing the GM in Atlanta was right, but because Kirk Cousins is now 6-2 as a starter this year, 6-2, and this guy drafts, Michael Penix. Just insane. All right. Let me move on. 3 meaningful games yesterday in terms of getting into the playoffs. Although the Carolina-Tampa Bay game wasn't meaningful because they had to wait for Atlanta, and Tampa Bay still lost. Seattle, San Francisco, obviously for number 1. Because Seattle the other day smothered San Francisco, and Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Yeah. The dramatic thing. I know you don't like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Pittsburgh getting in and Baltimore not getting in?
It's crushing. I thought that Lamar Jackson stated it as well as it could be put when he just said we're devastated, furious, devastated, and you could see it written all over him because that game, Baltimore's got that game. They got control of it. Yes. Even when Pittsburgh slips ahead twice, they should have control of that game in the fourth quarter. I do think that the coaching, while John Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame level coach, I just think that team the last couple of years was inadequately coached. And I don't even mean by him, but if you hire the lieutenants that fail you, that's on you.
Oh, yeah.
And Pittsburgh is just a wow that they escaped with that win.
What were they doing at the end of the first half? What were they doing?
I don't.
Don't you take points?
Understand.
What do you do?
Well, the 2 seconds. I understood when Tomlin said, field goals aren't going to win this game. He felt that way in real time, and he went for it with 2 seconds left.
Crazy.
I thought, you know what, Tony? I would have kicked the field goal and taken the points, but I thought he was going to go for it, and he did. And he's not a go-for-it guy. He is not Dan Campbell.
Right.
But yet, that's how it played out. So it was a wow. That game, the whole game was a wow.
Let's get to the Bears because it ultimately doesn't matter that the Bears lost because Philadelphia lost as well. They retained 2. Right. But in retaining 2, if I'm not mistaken, they have to play Green Bay a third time. This would frighten me. I assume it frightens you.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
The Bears and Packers have only played twice in the playoffs in history because the NFL sought through the way it set up its bracketing to avoid division teams playing each other before the conference final. They played the conference final in 2010 in Chicago, and the Packers won. That's the famous Jay Cutler game. He can't go, and he goes and gets on a bike at the end of the bench. And that was Aaron Rodgers' only Super Bowl. NFC Championship game in Chicago. And they played in like 1940, Palace and Lambeau, and I think the Packers won that one. I don't want to see the Packers.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Tony, and I sat around gnashing my teeth over a week about this because you could see it coming. If the Bears, do I want to play a wounded Packer team in Chicago or the Rams or 49ers who just beat us? I kind of think I would rather get the 49ers in a rematch in Chicago. But because that might have been their high water mark. The game against the Bears where each team scored every time down a week ago. But I think I'm making my peace with the Packers. Their quarterback hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Since the Bears knocked him out of that game. And they got so many injuries. It's like, what the hell? We got to dance with the devil one more time.
My feeling about this is you have no home field advantage in terms of weather when you play the Packers. But that's you do when you play California teams. Of course you do.
Yeah, but that's not the only home field advantage you're looking for. But no, there's no advantage of any kind.
No.
For the Packers or the Bears playing each other in the most familiar settings they can play. There's a slight advantage for the Bears. We saw that in those 2 games. Each team won by a play. I'd take a play worth of advantage. But that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about, weather doesn't come into play, but it doesn't come into play for a lot of people. If Buffalo and New England were to play each other, it doesn't come into play. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, it doesn't come into play. So there are a lot of games where it doesn't. Now, where it could is
L.A.
The Bears
L.A., Chicago.
Were to beat the Packers.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles were to lose their wild card game. Then we get the California team in Chicago. So
that's an advantage.
You still needed to wind up with that second seed in order to set that up.
Is there a team, we go through this all the time, and we will go through this today on PTI, that every time there's a team you like, they lose the next game. They do. They lose the next game, and then they come back and win a couple. Is there one or two teams that you are particularly high on going into the playoffs? Seattle, you always like Seattle.
Yeah, they got the best defense.
They smothered the 49ers. They did.
Now, what I'm hoping for is that, I understand how they're playing. What they do travels. But I'm hoping that, Sam Darnold will throw it to you instead of to his own people.
Yeah.
Maybe in a second playoff game, Sam Darnold will do that. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I think that Seattle is the best of the NFC teams. Do I think that Philadelphia can win the NFC again? You're damn right I do. Despite all the absurdity of their season and the reaction to it. I take Seattle over anybody in the entire league. But I think that the Jaguars and Houston, I think Buffalo's going out right away.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. I think they're going out in Jacksonville right away.
Wow.
And I think Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh will play at home.
No, they're out.
Because Houston's a wild card team. I think Pittsburgh's going out right away.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Carolina's going out right away.
But it should be, what's that, Tom?
Carolina's going out even before the game starts. They're out.
Well, who does Carolina get? They get which?
They get the Rams.
They get the Rams.
Rams are 9.5-point favorite on the road.
They're not.
Yeah, you know what? I hear you, and I believe what you're saying. I believe that. But this whole season, Tony, as you just
they beat the Rams
described, it's gone. They beat the Rams already. That game was in Carolina.
They beat them.
But this whole season, has worked against the logic that you're now saying has to happen.
I know.
And so I'm looking at this also going, okay, where are the favorites going to lose?
Yeah, that's fair. Let me get to Myles Garrett. I thought Burrow turtled. I thought he just laid down. What did you think about it?
You thought he Brett Favre?
Yes.
I didn't pay much attention.
I did.
I didn't pay much attention. I thought,
I know you love Myles Garrett, so that's why I bring it up.
Tom Brady turtled 150 times in his career.
Oregon just scored, so it's going to be a tie game here. They went down the field after that pick six and scored a touchdown, so good response by the Ducks.
But not for the sack record. Not like Favre did, because he liked Strahan. He did. He liked it.
Yeah, did he, was he Michael Vick on that play? Did he, get up to 22 miles an hour running away from him? No, he didn't.
No.
But I just think that way too much attention had been devoted to that anyway. And I was glad to see it out of the way. And now if he's chasing his own record next year, which he may, he's that great. He's Defensive Player of the Year. It's not even close.
Would you vote for him? Is he your MVP? Because he couldn't be mine because they don't win.
No, he's not my MVP, but I don't know who my MVP is. And I guess maybe, it's Matthew Stafford.
I think so.
I guess Stafford is, if you look at, it can't be somebody from San Francisco because they win too many games.
No. It could be Seattle, but no one is going to give Darnold the MVP. This is not going to happen.
No. And it's not, You're right. And Seattle's not going to be the recipient of that.
Would they give it to Drake May?
They would, because there are people who want to, and there are enough expatriates on television talking it up. It could be Drake May. And who do they get in the first game?
I don't know who New England
The
gets.
Chargers.
The Chargers are not good. The Chargers aren't good. They're just not good.
No, and I think the Chargers are winless against the Patriots in the playoffs. I'm like 0-3 or 0-4, historically against the Patriots. I'm not going to say they can't do it. I'm just not prepared to say that Jim Harbaugh can't win. It would certainly be an upset.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else matters too. It seems like this week in the Midwest and the Northeast is going to be ridiculously mild, with temperatures in the 60s.
Yeah.
That doesn't work in favor of upsets. Actually, maybe it does for
it's hard to tell.
Visiting team, a team like San Diego. It's the same temperature in California.
Yeah, it's not.
So it makes no difference. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
It's been a great season. It's just been a great season because of the uncertainty. The uncertainty has made it great. It's just been great.
And so my point, Tony, is why wouldn't the postseason carry on
I agree.
in that tradition?
I agree.
And I think that would, serve the public well when it comes to just sort of getting involved and paying attention from the very first game, which is Saturday afternoon.
I'll just tell you this, and I'm sure that you thought the same thing last night. If Justin Tucker was on that team, Baltimore wins that game. If Justin Tucker hadn't done what he did.
But Justin Tucker his last 2 years has become nothing. And Justin Tucker's off-field alleged behavior, it made it easy.
That's right,
for them
to get rid of him.
It made it easy. But Tucker was done. Justin Tucker was done. Just look at the big games and the kicks he missed in the last at least 2 seasons. So they were going that way anyway, but wow. Those 2 kickers, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unbelievable.
You missed
how that whole
you missed
thing played out.
PAT. It's just like you shanked it. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just
ridiculous. It was so wide. Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later.
All right, Tom.
Michael Wilbon, boys and girls. We will take a break. We will come back with Chuck Culpepper. We will talk about the college football playoffs. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
This is the Tony Kornheiser Show.
A lot of banjo music today.
Finished school and moved away
Happy
back
with banjo
in
music.
Oh, sure. Good way to start the year.
This is, again, Rock Creek Revival. It's a local band for us. It's called White Flowers. Very lovely. Michael, if bands like Rock Creek Revival, want to send their original music in here to get it played on this show, how do they do it?
You send your music to jingles@TonyKornizersShow.com.
And this one plays in Chuck Culpepper, and we're going to talk about the college football playoff, and I'm probably going to be annoying about Notre Dame, but I'll try and keep it to a minimum. But let's just start with this, and this is something you addressed in a terrific article the other day in the Washington Post. That we've had this big playoff, 12 teams, should probably go to 16, but we've had this big playoff, 12 teams for a couple of years. And in the second round, when the 4 teams that get byes play for the first time, those teams, which we presume are the higher seeded teams, though they're not always, they're 1-7. They're 1-7. I mean, okay, it's not a huge sample size, but it's the only sample size we've got. What do you make of this, and what do you see a course correction coming up?
So the sample size is getting bigger, yes, and it's getting considerable, I think.
Yeah.
And it means I think it, as we've seen maybe with buys in other sports from time to time, you start figuring in that it's a disadvantage to wait, 25 days.
25
30
days.
Yeah, while the other side's waiting only, half that.
So,
or less.
Yeah, so to make this clear to people, one team is waiting 25 to 30 days and then being asked to play a top 10 team. You're not being asked to play the Citadel. You're being asked to play a top 10 team that just played. In the old days, I'm just going to go off here, in the old days, when you had bowl games and only bowl games, everybody sat for 25 to 30 days, so there was no advantage. This is an elimination tournament. There's an advantage. It seems to me there's only 2 ways to fix this. Go to 16 or start playing these things earlier, which I don't think college football is going to want to do for money reasons.
Right. I think go to 16 is the solution to this, and it's the outcome. It's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone doubts that. And, you take a case like last season, Oregon, 13-0, ranked number 1. They had played on that first weekend in December, and then they play the Rose Bowl against Ohio State, which had just played Tennessee on the 20th of December, and it was 34-0 midway through the second quarter.
Yeah.
And the same with Ohio State this year. You could just see it. And it's just whatever it is, whatever kind of sharpness is lost with the weight, you could spot it there pretty much.
The only team in 2 years that has not suffered is the juggernaut known as Indiana, a team that was the worst. They were the worst college football team of all time. And it leads to this question, because there's a lot of sideline shots of Kirk Cignetti. Why is he so angry? He's so angry, Chuck. Why is he so angry?
I think it's the perfectionism, probably, and that's the way they practice and the way they teach, whatever, is based on these very, very minute details of hand placement, helmet placement, and just small things. So I always look at that and assume that he must be thinking about, whatever tiny detail was just done a fraction of an inch, improperly. So I think that must be it. And he's quite a character, and I love when he'll get a long question and answer with about 5 or 6 words, and then let it go at that. And the whole thing is, and we were just talking about the disadvantage of having to wait. This is another accomplishment that they've made. They're now the only ones to overcome this disadvantage, and they did it 38-3 against Alabama.
He's always scowling. His eyebrows should be put in a wax museum because of the way that they look. And it's like he waits for the end of the question, and what he wants to say is, "Are you kidding me with this question?" Right? Don't you feel? Are you kidding me with this? Did you just see us? What are you talking? Right? I mean,
right.
Wow.
He came to the media day before the Rose Bowl, 2 days before the Rose Bowl, and he's sitting there on a podium dais, whatever you'd say, people bunched around, and there was a delay in the questions about 12 minutes, 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Maybe to a 40-minute session. He said, "We good?" And nobody had any more questions, and he left.
Yeah, he's just... His arrogance is palpable, which makes me love him. I have to say, I don't want to ever talk to him. I don't want to be around him, but I love him from a distance. How did he accomplish I don't think people really understand what a hellhole for football Indiana was. How did he do this?
I think that's still one of the mysteries of this that makes it so compelling. Has to be the best coaching job we've ever seen, at least over a 2-year period. We're just remarkable in so many ways, but still defying description in some way. They've beaten, as we know, they used to lose to Michigan and Ohio State, as a matter of routine. Year after year after year. They've beaten both of those in the last 2 years, plus Oregon on the road, plus now Alabama, plus Iowa on the road, which is hard to do. Illinois came into their place with a number 9 ranking, lost 63-10.
Got killed, and he ran it up. He runs it up. That's another thing I like. He runs it up. He doesn't care.
That's part of that precision thing, too. We're going to, you could see on the sideline in the last 3 minutes that I think it was the defensive backs coach still drilling them on what to do with a 38-3 lead.
So with all this, and I'm not going to take that position, they got to prove it again and again, because they prove it all the time. But with all this, I don't like the fact that they have to play Oregon for a second time. I don't. I've watched what happened in this tournament. Playing a team for a second time is not good. What are your thoughts on that?
If they overcome that, then they're even more astounding than we thought, which was already very astounding. And you're right. And the rematches, the Georgia-Ole Miss rematch turned out to be a terrific game, but in the run-up, it was so dreary to think about it. These rematches are just... Ole Miss-Tulane was a rematch, I don't know, there's something about them that just... It seems unfair, as you're saying, and it also seems just a little less interesting than it could be.
Thank you for mentioning Ole Miss, which leads us into the existential question. How do you think Lane Kiffin feels right now?
Touchdown, Indiana. They go right back down the field and score. It's going to be 14-7.
I think he has such confidence in himself that he believes that it's going to happen for him across the next few years, time and again. I think that's probably the way he's thinking about it. I think that's kind of a perilous way to think, if that's true, because these things are actually hard to come by, and what Ole Miss is doing is rare, and certainly rare in their history, and rare for anybody. I think of Dan Campbell when the Lions almost got to the Super Bowl, and he said, the sad part about this is it was really hard to get here, and it's it's going to be hard to do it again. And I think I don't know if it enters his mind that he's missing out on this really precious opportunity. I'm going to guess no. I would think no. I would think he's where he wants to be with all the perks of LSU that Ole Miss didn't quite have, and that he's thinking, well, this is going to happen for me across the next few years.
I'll bet he's thinking that, but if I was a booster at LSU and I saw Ole Miss win the national championship with Pete Golding sitting at the rudder here, I might have some doubts about what I bought with Lane Kiffin. I might.
True. And Pete Golding, whose record, if he does win the national championship, will be 4-0 lifetime head coach record. Yeah. So that'll tell us something about maybe how it all works and how the head coach is. We all know the head coach is crucial, but maybe not as crucial with experience as we think.
All right, I'm gonna go back into one of my standard whines here. Miami has totally justified being in this tournament. They're totally justified, and I could justify them being in before. But what are you thinking if you're Notre Dame? What are you thinking if you're Notre Dame and you were ranked ahead of this team 5 straight weeks, and now they're in the semifinals? What are you thinking?
You're thinking. I think what a lot of us were thinking, which is that even before it got started, Notre Dame looked like it had this caliber good enough to win the whole thing. Yeah. And now that the whole thing is open as it is to a large degree. I mean, we thought we were going to everybody thought, oh, the Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State and Georgia, that's going to be a real, that's a real heavyweight bout right there. And now, if you're Notre Dame, the way it has unfolded, you're probably even sadder.
That's what I think. Sad and angry. Sad and angry about what happened. So I think the best possible final, because I always think in terms of writing, the best possible final is Indiana Ole Miss. I mean, because they're great stories. They're great stories both ways. Who do you like? Who do you like to win it? You watched them all. Who do you like to win it?
Indiana's playing with this sort of rarefied precision you almost never see. So I've decided to stop worrying about them so much.
Right.
Obviously we root for the story. That's true. We people always think that, sports writers, oh, who's your favorite team? And whatever favorite team I had as a child fades over time, and you get used to being objective and being sort of falling in love with the story. So, Indiana is it. It really is, and it keeps marching on. But I also think it's the best team, and it just it'll be hard to beat Oregon again. But they did it in Eugene, so I think they can do it in Atlanta, and I would like them to beat either Miami or Ole Miss.
So I noticed this the other day. There was a graphic on some show somewhere. The SEC, which it doesn't just pride themselves on being the best conference, arrogantly tells you they're the best conference all the time and doesn't really want anybody else to play college football. Okay. Their bowl record this year is awful. Have you seen it? It's something like 4-8 or 4-9, right?
Yes.
What do you make of that?
Well, I think the sort of the popular, thing that people are wondering at the moment is, has the NIL era maybe softened or negated some of the advantages that they had before when they
cheated just under the table like everybody did.
And to go on probation more than other people did. So so that to me is fascinating. Is it true that they no longer sort of have that kind of advantage? And some of these bowl losses, Iowa beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a terrific team. Everybody with a heart loved that season that they had and thought they were better than Iowa. Clearly they're in the SEC. Iowa's upper middle of the Big Ten. And Iowa pretty much controlled that game in a lot of ways. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch going forward, when they're, as you say, if there's another 12-team playoff, of course they'll campaign to have 7 or 8 of them again next year.
Sure, that's their DNA. But like Oklahoma, maybe you don't consider Oklahoma an SEC team, but they lost after winning one. Mississippi State lost, Vanderbilt lost, Georgia lost, Alabama lost. They won one and then lost one. I don't know about LSU. Tennessee lost. I mean, these are big-name schools. They all went down the drain in these bowls, right?
Yes, Tennessee lost the Music City Bowl, which...
Not supposed to lose that. It's in your home state.
It probably violates, zoning ordinances or something like that, laws and things. But, some of these losses are kind of jaw-dropping.
Yeah, Wilbon loves
it. Virginia.
Wilbon just loves it because, he hates the SEC because he's a Big Ten guy. He hates the SEC. Anyway.
Right.
All right, enjoy the whole thing. Thanks for being on. We'll talk to you after all of it. Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you.
Chuck Culpepper, fabulous writer. Just fabulous. We will come back with email and jingle. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
You're listening to the Tony Kornheiser Show.
Here comes Tony's mailbag. Got your email, faxes, and your notes. Here comes Mr. Tony's mailbag. He's gonna read some for all of you folks. He's gonna read some for all of you folks.
That's Sean Gallagher. That's new.
That is new.
That's new. That's a banjo and great country vocal.
Yeah, it's well done.
That's really good.
Start the year off with a new
Scotty McCreery modulated up or something.
Yeah.
That's really very, very good.
Great job.
You want to do the Bethesda Bagel ad?
Oh, yes, Bethesda Bagels. We love it. Today was Bagel Sandwich Day.
Yeah.
Always excited about that. Just go to BethesdaBagels.com for the location in the D.C. area nearest you. Then pop on in, and you'll be thrilled. And I would like to give a shout-out to our very good friend, Greg Garcia.
Yes. What's he got coming up?
He's featuring. So he's not just the opener now. He's a feature comedy act for Julian McCullough at the Mohegan Sun Casino
in Connecticut.
In Connecticut, yeah. He's going to be doing 20 minutes.
Is he going all around the country now doing this?
This Friday and Saturday.
Fantastic.
I know. So,
that's fantastic.
So, Littles, if you're in the area, you'll want to stop on by Mohegan Sun Friday and Saturday. The Julian McCullough is the headliner, and the feature act is one Greg Garcia.
Oh, that's great.
So great.
Hope that works out
Yes.
well. All right, before we get to the mailbag, let me just say there ain't no good in our goodbye, and true love takes a lot of trying. Oh, I'm crying. Let's hang on to what we've got. Don't let go, girl. We got a lot. Got a lot of love between us. Hang on to what we got. That's a very early Four Seasons tune.
Yes.
That's a great Frankie Valli vocal.
Yes.
Just great. Thanks to our guests today, Michael Wilbon and Chuck Culpepper. Thanks as well to today's sponsors. Remember, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Odyssey. Get the show through Apple. Please leave us a review. From Charlie Burtz in Springfield, Virginia. May I please be the official first emailer read in 2026 of the Tony Kornheiser Show. It's been a dream of my mother's since I was a small child. There you go. Happy New Year to all. Wind chill in Palm Beach Gardens, 35 going to 60. Regards, DG. Good to know. Good to know. Aaron Halliday. New Year's greetings from Nashville. This is Aaron, the official motor coach operator for the Tony Kornheiser Show and typically the lead driver for the Illinois State football team. As I email this to you, it's 8 a.m. Central on Sunday, January 4th, and I'm preparing for my day with the football team. We're on an incredible run to be playing in the FCS National Championship, which will be played on the 5th. The Redbirds, led by head coach Brock Spack, who are unranked, have traveled to Hammond, Louisiana to defeat number 16 Southeastern Louisiana, to North Dakota to defeat number 1 North Dakota State, to California to defeat number 8 UC Davis, and finally to Pennsylvania to defeat number 12 Villanova. Illinois State will be playing number 2 Montana State on ESPN to top off this run. Sadly, I will not be the lead driver for the team because of the travel distance and scheduling commitments of the weekend's events. Instead, I will be providing transportation for support staff, student trainers, equipment crew, and others. However, I will be there to see my team compete for the championship on the sideline. The support of the locals in Nashville will be apparent. It's shocking how many people acknowledge me in my Peoria charter motor coach with a TK salute as I maneuver through tight turns and parallel parking across the United States. But we could use some well wishes while love as we take the field to finish this incredible season. We need the support of the Littles. Now, this happened, right? It happened, did it not?
Or does it say the 5th?
Yeah, or is that today?
That's today.
Okay, good. In closing, thanks for decades of entertainment. I've been a listener since 1998. Any attacks?
And Illinois State loses to Montana State in that game, unfortunately. And depending on who you're rooting for, I guess.
Some photos, and it says, "Go you Redbirds."
Yeah, go Redbirds, yeah.
So it's today. Unranked, and they beat the number 1 team already, and now they have to beat the number 2 team. Good luck.
Yes, definitely good luck.
From Shad. Howling late last night. You better not let them in. Spider Wolf full moon. It's a beautiful moon when it's not occluded. We have had difficulty seeing it here. We saw it the day before it was totally full.
Yeah, it was,
and then through the clouds on full night Saturday.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
You know, it's a big moon. It's very nice. Jeff Barger, Hillsborough, North Carolina. Mark your calendars. There will be a lunar eclipse on March 3rd. It is a blood moon eclipse as the moon will turn red on March 3rd. The best part is that it will happen during the 6 o'clock morning hour, which is right in your wheelhouse. I got the dog out there. P.S. Please tell fellow Hillsborough little Leslie Thomas to eat it, but also to have a Happy New Year. We'll connect in 2026. From Jordan Chance in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, formerly of Lindenhurst, New York on Long Island. Just wanted to send you a quick update on the Peter Goldstein situation. I called my mother after you read my email on Tuesday's show. She told me she never heard of him. Anyway, if you want any more details, I'd be happy to look into it further. Nigel knows my email address, so just get in touch with me. Just, what? Are we doing private ads here? So great. Neil Ayervase, for all my adult life, I've had very little connection with family, principally as a result of having so few relatives and losing several too young. In fact, a Google search discloses fewer than 10 Ayervases in the world. Wow. Thanks to you and your community, however, I just experienced a marvelous familial connection. Just this week, fellow little Adam Schubert reached out to say that he heard you read my emails and that the woman to whom he is related by marriage is an Ayervase. We followed that communication with a long phone call and a connection which I'm sure will flourish and help us all find out more about our family. Yes, the connective tissue is strong and so frequently meaningful. Isn't that nice?
That's amazing.
Isn't that nice? Okay. Thank you and the gang for playing the music of Maury Campbell on New Year's Eve. I have so enjoyed the music of artists whose songs I love being showcased on the pod since 2018 when I sent in Liz Longley's song Bad Habit as my introductory submission. In my case, it's been a very good habit, and thank you for all the kind words you have spoken over the years about the artists and their songs. I've become such a big fan of the show, not only because of the music, but also because of such amazing guests as Jason La Canfora, who offers terrific insights about the NFL each time he's on. Speaking of the NFL, thank you, Tony, so much for offering a visual shout-out for 2 days in a row on Pardon the Interruption to Hole in the Roof, the book I co-authored with Burke Murchison, whose father founded the Dallas Cowboys in 1960. The last chapter in our book is called Franken Stadium for a reason. It underscores exactly what Jason said during his last appearance on the pod when he spoke of the billions of dollars in subsidies now being doled out to NFL owners hoping to cash in on new stadiums. Clint Murchison Jr., the focus of our book, prided himself on never taking a penny of taxpayer money after opening Texas Stadium in 1971. During his tenure, the Cowboys also provided police and fire protection at the stadium and even paid rent to the city of Irving, Texas. In preparing for a recent speaking appearance involving Hole in the Roof, I was shocked to learn how much money billionaire owners of the NFL are now taking from taxpayers to build their Franken stadiums. The list of the guilty is too long to mention, so let me commend the one ownership group that has vowed to use private funding and no new taxes in building a state-of-the-art dome stadium. That would be the Denver Broncos, who provide quite a contrast to their division rival, the Kansas City Chiefs, as the Washington Post noted in a recent editorial. The tentative agreement of the state of Kansas has made with the Chiefs provides $2.775 billion in public funding. This is likely far below the final price tag, with one estimate putting the total public cost at $6.3 billion over 30 years. What else can one say? Mr. Cranberry writes, except go Broncos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Bill Isaacson. Assuming the topics of Larry Sanders and the history of Sports Illustrated are still on the table, I have this story. In 2013, Lee Jenkins of Sports Illustrated did a story on Larry Sanders of the Milwaukee Bucks before Sanders flamed out. The story describes Sanders' difficult background with the opening line, "The NBA's fiery angel has seen the darkest corners of crazy." For the piece, Jenkins reached out to Gary Shandling because of Sanders of the Bucks. Jenkins wrote, was living a life where the Larry Sanders Show references never cease. "All I can say," says Gary Shandling, "his name could have been Roseanne and then it would have been much worse." As Jenkins also wrote, Shandling is well aware of Sanders thanks to Bucks fans who mistakenly tweet him. "Really enjoyed watching you tonight. Good luck the rest of the season." Shandling is flattered. "Then I remember the show isn't on anymore," he says. Gary, as he would do, had long conversations with Sanders about his difficult childhood and abusive father, including finding out that as a young child, Sanders and his father would actually watch the Larry Sanders Show together. A great, great show, but not Sesame Street. Anyway, prior to Jenkins coming on the scene as a Bucks fan myself, I had given Gary a Larry Sanders jersey and taken a few photos of Gary wearing it with my iPhone. Oh, the innocent days for the iPhone, parenthetically added. SI and Gary reached out to me for the photo, and that is how, while I may not be a Hoff or a Waff, my photo was published in the sports magazine with the most iconic sports photography in history. I proudly keep a framed copy of the page, although in retrospect, the fact that SI published a phone photo may have signaled the beginning of the end. And he shows it. It's great. That's what I think of with Larry Sanders. I think of Larry Sanders.
Oh, sure.
From David Epstein, on the Wednesday pod, you mentioned having a matchbook from the famed restaurant 21. The 21 Club was located not on 44th Street, but rather at 21 West 52nd Street, directly across from the CBS BlackRock building. Since you asked, I regret to inform you that the restaurant is no longer in operation. Yet another victim of the pandemic. Non-New Yorkers may possibly remember 21 as the place where Gordon Gekko orders the off-the-menu steak tartare for Bud Fox in the 1987 classic Wall Street. For me, it's a place where 5 years after that movie, I bore witness to the hilarity of the head of CBS advertising sales having to cut off the credit card of one of his salespeople. Said salesperson was apparently in the habit of heading to 21, expensing the steak tartare to go, hopping on the train and bringing it home to feed his dog. The good old days. P.S. One of my favorite stories I was ever told had to do with 21 and was told to me by the actor Jared Harris of Mad Men fame. As I'm sure Nigel knows, Jared Harris is both the son of the famed actor Richard Harris and the stepson of the equally famous actor Rex Harrison. As Jared relayed to me, Richard Harris was a noted drinker and in the 1960s frequented 21, then a New York hotspot. During one trip stateside in 1969, Harris stopped in at 21 looking to relax and imbibe his favorite table. He was instead told that the restaurant was closed due to a private party. Harris protested and was eventually allowed to sit in a remote part of the restaurant while revelers dominated the establishment. Annoyed, Harris inquired what the fuss was about. He was told that the group was celebrating an honoree who had just returned home to the United States. Harris, annoyed that no fuss was made over his many arrivals in New York, called over a manager, to find out why he, a loyal patron, was being put out for a celebration of someone who had merely landed in the United States, as he had done many times. It was then that Harris was informed of the identity of the honoree and weary traveler, Neil Armstrong. How fabulous is that email? Ben Sandler, Columbia, Maryland. We had a wonderful New Year's week at Bethany Beach with 4 of our 14 grandchildren. We watched the sunrise on New Year's morning with the kids. Great experience that was enjoyed by all despite the cold and biting winds. As I was driving home, catching up to the week's shows filled with joy from the week, you opened the mailbag with lyrics to In My Life, which definitely is one of my favorites. I had to pause the pod to listen to the song immediately. Needless to say, I was wiping away tears as I finished listening to the mailbag. Wishing you and the crew a happy New Year filled with straight hits, very few sand traps. From Bob Lane in Midland, Michigan, longtime little occasional emailer. Mr. Tony, your reference of In My Life made me smile as I recalled an incident from a few years ago. My college roommate was getting married, and I offered to pay for the acoustic duo providing the music for his wedding. When it came time to write out a check, thankfully they didn't accept online payments. I offered to double their fee if they would play You Don't Send Me Flowers instead of Lennon's masterpiece. They declined the offer. Oh well, for my friend's second wedding, and trust me, there will be a second wedding, in homage of your Long Island high school friend Jimmy Steinman, I'll triple the going rate if they play 2 out of 3. Brett Hobbs, Linton, Indiana. I visited your area a few years ago, wanted to take the family to Harper's Ferry to hike around. I come from a small Indiana town where we only need a few quarters to pay a parking meter when we want to park in town. When I arrived with the family in the parking lot at Harper's Ferry, I was greeted with the new technology of the pay-by-phone parking. After my son helped me download and install the Park Mobile app, which I don't have, which Michael has offered to do, I paid for parking and we were able to explore the area. I never used that app again, but a strange thing happened. I received an email telling me that Park Mobile had a data breach and that I was included in the class action lawsuit against the company. I filled out the required online forms, and after several months, I received a payment of $13.75.
I missed out on that
as my portion of the settlement. I can see why you are against phone apps and the way technology is changing. Park Mobile should understand that a few quarters in a meter are a lot better than lawyers at your doorstep when you don't protect the data you require from a person just to park. From Bill Garner. I always love hearing Bob Ryan because I always learn something. During the conversation, you mentioned influencers. Influencer? You're not? I have a Revolution toaster. Love it. Fleece lined pants, the best. Solo stove. Only used the damn thing 4 times in 3 years. Stupid toothbrush I tossed long ago because you wouldn't tell how the battery operated. And if I ever go to Norway, I'm buying a Lilyhammer jacket. Thanks. You guys are the best. Darren in South Bend, Indiana. I hate to pile on, but I feel a civic duty here. Between your iPhone updating itself without consent and the federal government gently insisting that checks are now an embarrassing relic of the past, there's one more quiet change that may affect your remaining analog joys. The United States Postal Service has now changed how mail gets postmarked. Your check is no longer dated when you put it in a mailbox or hand it to a human. It's dated when it finally gets processed by a sorting machine, which may be a day or 2 later, possibly more. The mailbox is now just a suggestion box. So the check you mailed on time, responsibly, signed with a BIC, may now appear late, not because you were late, but because the machine woke up when it felt like it. This matters for anyone who mails payments to the Internal Revenue Service, utilities, that blasted iPhone, really anyone who believed that a forever stamp meant forever. You can wait in line and still request a hand stamp postmarked at the counter, which feels like asking a librarian to bless your book. Otherwise, the robots decide. That's a brilliant email from Darren. Brilliant. Chris Toohey, Rock City Falls, New York, a small hamlet near Ballston Spa, New York, which is also a small hamlet. With a mention of Hensley Bam Bam Mullins the other day, it brought back memories of seeing him at Heritage Park with the Albany Colony Yankees when I was a kid. We saw a lot of great players go through, including Bernie Williams, Jim Leyritz, Deion Sanders, who signed his autograph with $1 for the S in his last name back then. Bam Bam always struck out because of his nickname. I guess Dad gave him the nickname because his home run power was reminiscent of the club-wielding character Bam Bam Rubble from the Flintstones. I gave my son the nickname Meatloaf because it meets both of the dad-son nickname criteria. 1, he hates Meatloaf. 2, he hates the nickname. I can only hope when he's in the big leagues someday that he's known as Miles Meatloaf Toohey. Fantastic. From Todd Derry in Orange Village, Ohio. You mentioned your experience at Framebridge, which is a wonderful product and company. You also mentioned it's owned by Don Graham, and his company, Framebridge, was actually started by Susan Tynan, who graduated high school with me in 1994. Everyone loves Susan, knew she was going to be something big. She was voted most likely to succeed in our senior class, went to Virginia undergrad and Harvard Business School. She started Framebridge because she loves the art. I knew there had to be a better and less expensive way to frame pictures and artifacts. It was not the least bit surprising to me that Framebridge is so successful. Susan is a wonderful human being. I'm so happy for her success. Happy New Year to all of you. Tell Eric Marks to eat it. These are the ones that are unbelievable to me.
I went to high school with her.
These are the ones. They really are. From Sam Thompson.